going to ask you is that you just give this a try. May or may not work for all of you. Some are you going to be, or each of you are going to be using it a bit differently, but we are definitely going to be wanting your feedback at the end of the period to determine if we want to, this is a product we want to continue with. And so with that, I'm going to turn the mic over to two of the folks we have on the line with us from the Florida Literacy Coalition. The first is Greg Smith. He's the Executive Director, and Greg has been just instrumental in working with us and making sure that the pricing of the product was reasonable and I think very fair, so that we can allow the maximum number of our programs to both continue and to join this fiscal year. And then we also have Nicole Caban on the line with us. She's the Education and Training Coordinator, and she's going to be the person who's doing the training today, but also somebody you're going to be working closely with. She handles all the technical aspects. So with that, I'd like to turn the mic over to Greg.
Okay, well, thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that, and we really appreciate the opportunity to work with you all. Again, as Lisa mentioned, I'm Greg Smith, and I'm with the Florida Literacy Coalition. We're a nonprofit organization that has sort of a statewide focus here in Florida to support community-based literacy organizations. We serve as the Adult and Family Literacy Resource Center here in Florida. So we do a lot of professional development training. We have a state conference, a lot of resource sharing, and creating opportunities for programs to network and share what works and what doesn't work. We do have a special focus on working with the volunteer nonprofits, library-based programs, and faith-based programs. In this course that we developed actually several years ago, and we revised it last year to update it using a lot of great videos that you all provided through the California State Library. So we really appreciate that. That really served to enhance the course quite a bit. And we tried to use videos throughout. You know, and Nicole's going to be talking about this a little bit, but the idea here was to really provide an alternative approach and opportunity for folks who may be more inclined to gravitate toward online learning. Maybe they have difficulty getting to more of a traditional workshop, or for some programs here in Florida at least, they just don't have the capacity to offer regular training on a monthly or even in some cases a bi-monthly basis for tutor training, for new tutors. So this is being used here in Florida as an alternative for folks, so they can get started, volunteers can get started quickly and not have to wait sometimes a couple, 3, 4 months to get trained, or in some cases it's just a preferred method. But it's not meant to be a standalone. As you'll go through this, you'll see that it really does need to be augmented. It's a blended learning approach with information from your programs in terms of the curriculum that you're using, in terms of all your internal processes, your matching process and evaluation, and all the support services and everything that you're bringing to bear. This really is sort of an introduction. We've learned over the years, not for everybody, but for some people it seems to work pretty well, and we really welcome the opportunity to continue our partnership with the California State Library and all of your library-based programs. Learned quite a bit about all the good work that you're doing in California. It's a real privilege to work with you. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Nicole, who's really was instrumental in kind of doing the whole revamp of the course, and is now working on a similar course that we're revamping for ESL tutor training too. So, Nicole?
Thank you, Greg. Hello, everyone. My name's Nicole Caban, like Lisa said. Before I get started, I'd like to quickly go over some of your tools that you have for the GoToWebinar program. So on the right-hand side of your screen, you're going to see your panel. You should see a questions box within that panel. There you can type in any questions that you have for me throughout the webinar. I'll stop probably once halfway through, and then I'll take questions at the end. You'll also see on the left side of your panel a little hand raise icon. If I ask you to raise your hand or for an informal poll, you can just click that icon and I'll be able to see hands. So for example, I'll just ask who can hear me right now. So click that hand icon if you can hear me. Oh, perfect. Good. Then people can hear me. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much all you're going to need to know about that. So I'll go ahead and get started with the actual webinar. Okay. So today we're going to go over a couple of things. We're going to do a quick course overview. And then we're going to show you how to navigate the course, both as a tutor and as a facilitator. So I'll show you both ends of it. Then I'll show you exactly what a facilitator does, and we'll give you tips and some best practices that we've learned over the couple of years of actually facilitating this course for our organization. Okay, so our online tutor training course is about a 9-hour course. It consists of 9 modules, discussion sections, and a lesson planning assignment at the end. This course focuses mostly on tutoring strategies, and thanks to the partnership with California Library Literacy Services, we have the ability to show these specific tutoring strategies through video demonstrations. And I'll show you a little bit of those videos if you're not familiar with them already a little later on in this presentation. So there are 2 roles in this course that I want to point out. One is the tutor and one is the facilitator. You've probably already heard me saying that a couple of times throughout the beginning of this presentation so far. So tutors are basically going to be taking the course, while facilitators are managing the course or teaching the course. And I'll go into each role in more depth in a minute. Okay, so I just want to make the point that this is a blended learning approach, as Greg was saying before. Blended learning is a teaching and learning model that has a face-to-face training or orientation combined with an online learning component. So a lot of organizations will use this online course and also use an in-person orientation, speak about their program a little bit and their specific policies. This course is meant to show methods and research-based methods of actual instruction. It won't necessarily go into the specifics of not only your own program, but it won't really go into the specifics of the California Library Literacy Services either. So yeah, that's the blended learning approach. Okay, so now we're going to actually go in and dive in and show you the course. I'll first show you what the tutor will see, and then we'll go over what the facilitator will see. So I basically boiled down what the tutor is going to need to 5 different components. They're going to need the orientation video, the news forum. So the news forum is somewhere you can post updates and share with the whole group, which I'll show you in a minute. The online course, which kind of goes without saying, it's the actual course page, the discussion section, and the lesson planning assignment. I do want to make note about the discussion section of this course. It is a little bit clunky and it's not ideal. Unfortunately, we're faced with some limitations to the platform, so it requires a little bit of practice to get it down just right. I'll show you exactly how to do that. And in the orientation video, it actually will show the tutors as well how to get into it. All right, so let's just go ahead and take a look at the course. Bear with me just one second. Okay, so here's the course page. This is when you go into the course, you're going to go to floridaliteracytraining.org. So it's right up here in the corner. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. but it's a pretty simple URL, thankfully. So it's just floridaliteracytraining.org, and they'll automatically come to this page with a welcome from us and the online tutor training orientation. Since I'm not going to be able to go too in-depth with the actual the tutor portion today, I highly recommend that all of you go on to this course after we're done, and or whenever you get the chance, and go ahead and watch this video in its entirety. It's about 12 minutes long, but it'll walk you through exactly how to do the simple functions. So basically anything that the tutor will need to know will be in that orientation video. Okay. So to log on to, we're going to go over here in the corner. Oh, I'm already logged on. I'll log out. Okay. So in the right-hand corner, you'll see login. And this page is going to be where you're going to create your new account and you're going to log in. So again, this is more in depth if you look at the orientation, if you watch the orientation video. So I'm not going to go into it too much, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Now for the actual account creation, we normally have tutors go in and create their own account and their own password. Some organizations prefer to have someone on staff make their password, so they have complete control, complete access to their account. That's just personal preference. So that's whatever you decide. Okay, so now let me actually show you the course. So if you scroll down, you'll see course categories. We have ours right here, Florida Literacy Coalition, and then California Library Literacy Services. And this is the page of the different programs. You can press this little icon on the side. It looks like an eye. You open it up and you'll see the summary of the actual program and their logo. Okay, so I'll close that. For now, I'll go into the California Library Literacy Services. And then here you'll see the course page. So from the tutor's perspective, they're going to need to know about the news forum. You click on the news forum, you can add a new topic and have everyone see the general news. Anything about a program update, anything you want people to know, 2 weeks left to finish the course, anything like that will show up here in the news forum. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and go into the Online Tutor Training Course. Click Enter. I apologize if you hear a train. We're right next to a train station. Okay, so here's the online course. There is a little arrow here on the left-hand side. You click that to make it smaller. Click it again to make it bigger. All right, so I'll go ahead and let you hear a little bit of the audio.
The Florida Literacy Coalition Online Tutor Training. Working in conjunction with your local literacy organization, this comprehensive training will provide you with information, tools, resources, and practical tips for helping your adult learner meet his or her literacy goals.
Okay, so as you can see with this course, it's pretty linear. There's an outline right here on the left that shows you each module, module 1 through 9. I'm sorry, 1 through 8. And then there's a previous and a next button. So it is meant for you to go from one slide to the next in a linear fashion. However, you do have the ability here to just click on any module that you want and go straight to it. So if you don't want to deal with the introduction, you can go straight to a module that you're interested in, like who are the adult learners. Click that open, and you can click on any of these slides. So I'll go ahead and show you one of the slides here. Okay, this is our differences in culture quiz. So basically you're gonna just it'd be nice if I memorized this quiz before I did this, but basically it's a little drag and drop quiz. Submit. Yay, I did it right. And then it goes on to the next slide. So that's just one example. It's a little bit interactive. It tries to engage the learners a little bit. If you've ever taken a college course, you'll know that a lot of it's just a wall of text and a lot of reading. And we tried to make it as user-friendly as possible and as engaging as possible so people don't get bored right away. All right. Let's see. I'll show you some of the learning.
Most adult learners can learn using all three modalities, but we all tend to have preferences depending on what the learning task involves. As tutors, it is important to understand our own preferences and explore the preferences of our adult learner in order not only to teach in the...
This module concerns the...
Okay, so basically you're just going to be guided through. You're going to be guided through the entire course with audio. There are some slides that are missing audio, and we're actually working on building that out right now. We're also going to be adding, more than likely adding a quiz at the end, and we have some other small changes to make to this course, but for the most part it's going to be finished, but we will be building it out on certain features.
Challenges for learners with learning disabilities. Research shows that direct instruction, similar to the kind of instruction found in...
Okay, so now I want to show you an example of the video demonstration, which is what I think is the most helpful part of this particular program. It allows, unlike traditional tutor training, this allows you to see all kinds of techniques in action. So these are actually provided, like I said earlier, by the California Library Literacy Services. So many of you may have already seen these videos, but I'm going to show you about 1 minute and 45 seconds of this video just to kind of show you what it's like. I'm warning you right now, there's going to be a little bit of a delay in the audio.
Phonemic awareness is the ability to perceive and manipulate individual sounds. It is essential for successful phonics instruction and for learners to be able to use phonics to identify words as they read and to spell words as they write. Phonemic awareness must be learned through reading and writing. It's not just acquired naturally. The National Reading Panel has identified 6 tasks for phonemic awareness assessment and instruction: phoneme isolation, phoneme identity, phoneme categorization, phoneme blending, phoneme segmentation, phoneme deletion. You can ask your learner to complete these tasks to see if there is a need for you to work on developing phonemic awareness. You can use these same tasks for phonemic awareness practice either with or without letter or word cards.
So Jonathan, we've been working a lot around sounds of letters. I know that you know the name of every letter, but every letter has a unique sound. We're going to do an exercise here that will help you identify and know what the sound of the letter is. Not the name, but the sound. And when you see that letter in words you've never seen before, it'll help you sound them out better and understand what that word might be. Okay? Good. Okay, so tell me the first sound that you hear in the word make. Good.
Okay, so that's essentially what you're going to be seeing throughout this particular module, the 4 components of reading. So each component, alphabetics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension, has video demonstrations similar to this. You can click through to see each one, so you don't necessarily have to click the next button and do each and every video, although it's recommended. But if you want to give your tutors a specific video to watch, you can do that as well. All right, next I'm going to show you the reading discussion. So these are the discussions. As I told you before, we don't have the ideal method of doing discussions with this platform. We wanted to make this as engaging as possible, but because of that, we have we've created some limitations with the technology. So basically, they're going to be asked a question right here on the slide. You're going to go up to the top and click on their course. So you have the California Library Literacy Services, and right here has the course shorthand, and it says CSL. You'll all have your own course shorthand, but they're going to click on that to go back to the course page. Okay, and then they're just going to go to the corresponding discussion. This isn't the corresponding discussion, but bear with me. Okay, it's going to ask the question again, and they're going to be asked to add a new discussion topic. So they just click that, and then put in their subject and message. Okay. All right, and I want to make a quick note on the writing. There is going to be a writing section here on the course. I'll go into it really quickly. Actually, I can show you. Sorry for the delay, guys. Okay, Module 8 has a writing section, and it shows here Webinar 1 and Webinar 2. These are not necessary. We only recommend that these are watched, but these videos are each about an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half. So they're going to add a significant amount of time to your course, but they're also great writing resources. There are additional resources underneath it, but I just want to make clear that these webinars are optional. We will also, in the course that you're going to be getting, the updated course, they're actually split up into 4 chunks. So it'll be a little bit easier to digest, but they are optional. Okay. So that about wraps it up for the tutor portion of it. That's basically what the tutor is going to be seeing. Does anyone have questions? I'd be happy to take questions right now. Let me check. I don't have any questions yet, it seems. Okay, then we'll move on to the facilitator part. I know it's a lot to take in, but I'm available by phone and by email for anyone who needs help or anyone who has questions after the webinar. You can always call and email me. I'm at ncaban@floridaliteracy.org. I'll put that in the chat. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to show you guys. Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit about the Facilitator Access. As a facilitator, you're going to have some administrative functions. You're going to have a couple of customization options, and you're going to have the ability to report for reporting and tracking. Okay, so let's just go straight into there. Okay, and Greg has put my email in the chat. Actually, I'll go ahead and do that now. It looks like he may have only done it for the organizers. Okay, so my email should be right there in the chat for you guys. Also, this webinar is being recorded, and I'll put it up on YouTube for everyone to access as well. Okay, so as a facilitator, you're going to have some extra functions that the tutor is not going to be able to see. The first thing I want to point to you is the Users section. So it's going to be right here under the orange Administration tab. You can close it and then open it again. So the Users tab has a couple of options here. I'm going to show you guys enrolled users and enrollment methods. So for enrolled users, if you click it, you're going to see a nice list of all the people who are using your course. So this is California Library Literacy Services right now, and they have quite a few people on this course. So you can just go ahead and scroll through and take a look at everyone. I want to turn your attention to this. To up here, you'll see first name, surname, and email address. But right next to it, you'll see last access to course. So here you can kind of see who's actually been on your course. As you can see, some people haven't been on in a while. It could be that they took the course a while ago and, you know, haven't needed to be on. Then we have some people who were on 12 days ago, 14 days ago. This is a good way of seeing who's been actively engaged. This is a quick way to see that. So, for instance, if we have a course that's only about 3 weeks long and someone hasn't been in on 5 days, you know, that would be an indication that that person is maybe not in the course as often as that person should be. Okay. Next, I'm going to show you how to change a role in here. So right now you have people as volunteer. Let's say you want to have a volunteer become a teacher in the course because maybe they've been in for a while, they know the course well, and you want to give them a little bit of responsibility in that way. You click this little icon right here. It's a little person with a plus sign, and just click teacher and changes that person to a teacher. And to take away those privileges, you just click the little X next to teacher, remove, and it's gone. Okay? Underneath enrolled users, you'll see enrollment methods. Most of the time, we're going to do self-enrollment. And I'd also like to point out very quickly that, yes, enrollment is spelled incorrectly on this site a lot. We unfortunately can't do anything about it. This is I guess the Australian way of spelling it, and it's kind of built into the coding. We really can't change it. We definitely would if we could, but yeah. If anyone brings that up, just, you know, apologize for us. Now, to add a password into your course, you're going to hit this little gear key that says edit. And I'm not going to change the enrollment key here because I don't want to get Lisa angry at me. But right here, you just type in your password, and that'll give and that'll be the password for people to get into your course. You can also choose not to have a password. So if you do the self-enrollment without the password, then you're pretty much good to go. They can just click right in. Okay, I'm going to stop again for any questions or concerns. Again, I know that a lot of you are seeing this course, maybe seeing this course for the first time, so it's a lot to take in. So if anyone has any questions, you just let me know. Let me take a quick look. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions yet. Okay, so I'm assuming you guys are just taking it all in. All right. So next I'm going to just talk a little bit about branding. As you can see here, this is the California Library Literacy Services course page, but I'll go ahead and navigate back to another libraries page. These are all the libraries that are currently in the course. So you're going to see these already in there once you log in. So I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, so not that one. Okay, so for instance, this one is Partners in Reading San Jose. So you have the ability to have a logo right here, and underneath you can we can put your program description, you can have your mission in there, anything you want to say to your volunteers that are going into this course, that's going to be available. Okay, I have a question that I'm going to answer real quick. Lisa asked, will we have our own account, which will list the tutors registered only for our own program? Yes, you will have, each of you will have your own account. So this particular one is San Jose as Partners in Reading. So they have their users right here. They're enrolled users. These are only the users for Partners in Reading. So they won't actually have access to any other course. So if you're in here, you will only be able to see your course, and you'll have full control of your own course, but you will not have control over any other course, and you won't be able to see the other courses. If you're granted access from one of the other programs, then yes, you'd be able to go in and see it, but for our purposes right now, you'll have your course, your list of attendees, and you won't have to worry about any others. Okay, let's see. So that's a little bit about the branding. You get your logo, and you can have your mission statement or your program summary underneath your logo and on the front page. All right. Okay, so now we're going to go a little bit to the reporting section. So under reports you have logs, live logs, activity report, and course participation. If you click on logs, it's going to show you a page like this. And you can set your own parameters. I have a long list here, but you're only going to be able to see yours. All participants, all days. Click Get These Logs. And this shows what each person has been doing in their course, in your course. So as you can see, I viewed the course, and then when it says here SCORM package, SCORM package, that means they actually went into the course. Okay. So here you're going to be able to see what they did. The SCORM package tutor training, that means they went into the course and they viewed a module, and it'll show you the date and the time that they did it. Okay. I've got some more questions here, so I'll stop and answer. Diana is asking, is the news forum in the individual library sections only for the libraries, or is it something that all libraries see? It is something that only you and your participants will be able to see. Lisa, of course, Lisa Dale will have access to everyone's courses, but for each program, you will only be able to see your news forum, unless you, of course, go out and explicitly give someone permission to view that course. And to do that, they would have to click into your course, put in the enrollment key that you give them, and then they'll be able to see it. Okay. Alyssa asks, is user information kept private when a different user is on? For example, as a teacher, I will be able to see all of the users, but will the users be able to see each other? The users will be able to see who else is in the course, but that's it. They're not going to be able to see when they access the course. All of that is hidden. You as the teacher will be able to see the specifics of each person, but they won't be able to see it, see the others in their course. All right. Okay, so for the next, let's see, let's go to the activity report. So the activity report, this is a very general overview of the course. So you see this, you can see the number of people who have attempted it, and it lists it per discussion. So discussion 1, you can see, has four posts. Discussion 2 has 8 posts, so on and so forth. Okay, course participation is similar to the activity report. I don't think there's anything to show. Oh, here we go. And you can specify it. So you want to see how many people have done discussion 1. And you can see all of it. As you can see, only Catherine McBain. Actually, I think I have it on teacher. You have to click it to student, and you'll be able to see the students. There we go. So it shows you who has done it. You see yes, no, no, yes. So these are your tutors or volunteers, and the actions is what they did and how often they were in it. Okay. So now I'm going to show you the user profiles. So you have your list of users, and say you want to see each specific user's profile and pull reports from just one person. So you click on their name, Howard Scott Brown. This is Howard Scott Brown. I don't know who he is, so I feel a little bad showing his profile, but this is his profile, and you'll see you have logs, all logs, outline report, complete report, and grade. We at FLC, we don't do grading, but that you can use it. You can use it in the system. We just don't recommend it with our course. There isn't much to grade, but it is available to you if you wish. Okay, I'm going to show you some logs, but I don't want to use Howard Scott Brown's, because since I don't know who he is, I don't think he would appreciate that. So I'm going to use somebody else. Let's see. Nicole. We'll use Nicole. That's me. Okay, so if you go under reports to all logs, this will show all of my activity on the course. So I viewed the course, and it shows what the day and the time. As you can see, I haven't been on this particular course under this name since May. it doesn't count my it doesn't count my facilitator hits, but my account as a student, it'll count those hits. But so I haven't been in since May, so clearly I haven't really been working too hard on this course. That's when you as a facilitator will come in, and you're going to want to maybe email this person and ask if they need any additional help, or you know, diplomatically ask why maybe they haven't been taking the course. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the reports. Do I have any questions on reports or anything so far? Okay. I don't see anyone typing. Okay, so we'll go. Okay. So that's it. Again, I know that it's a lot. There's a lot of stuff to take in right there. But again, this is being recorded, so you can always go back and refer back to this. And the orientation video is great for a quick refresher as well. So just a quick overview of you as a facilitator. You will have the administrative functions, which is you can see your list of users. You can change their accounts to teachers if you'd wish. You have customization options with the logo and your program description. And then you have reporting and tracking. So I'll admit that the reporting is probably the most complicated part. So if you need any help at all, please contact me. I'm happy to help. The organizations who have already been using it have not been shy emailing me and calling me, so you are welcome to do so as well. Okay, so I'm going to stop for just a second to answer some more questions. Okay, so Lily is asking, are the courses mandatory for tutors or optional? So this course is going to be, this is a tool that we're giving to you guys to use. We don't make it mandatory ourselves, and you can use it in any way that you see fit. So if you want to use this course as something they use piece by piece, maybe you only want to use the alphabetics piece, and you want to show them the introduction to tutoring or something like that, that's perfectly fine. This is something that you can take and you can use. We have tips and suggestions that have worked best for us to make this course the most effective. But if you don't want to take those, tips, I mean, you can do with it as you please. Also, if Lisa has any requirements of you, of course, you'd have to talk to her about that. Speaking of Lisa, Lisa asks, will we be using the same course as the Florida Literacy Coalition, or will we have to create our own course? That's a good question. You will all have your own course page. The actual course that I was showing you with the modules in it and the videos, that's pretty much a fixture, so that's permanent. You will not be able to make changes to that, but you will be able to make changes through us to the branding on your page, and you can. I know some people wanted to add some discussion forums to their page, and that's possible as well. So basically, I'll explain this more at the end, but basically we will be creating the course for you, and then you can go in and have kind of free reign of your particular course. Okay, so Nancy is asking how long it will take for tutors to finish the modules. This is definitely dependent on your tutor's comfort level and speed when it comes to online learning. We clocked it at about 9 hours. Some people will take a lot less. It'll take a lot less time. Some people maybe a little bit more time. But what we normally do is we will give them about a 3-week period with which to finish the course. We've tried it for longer and we've tried it for less time, but we really found that the 3 weeks to finish the 9-hour course is about right for most tutors. Okay. Lisa asks, do the enrollees have to complete some sort of quiz or test to show they've completed the course? Yes and no. We have the, we will be building out a quiz on the end, but for now we have the lesson plan piece, which I'll go ahead and show you. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, while you're pulling that up, I just wanted to mention this course has been customized to a certain degree because there's certain elements in there that are specific to your work in California, and the roles and goals. There's several slides on that, and we're going to be building that piece out a little bit too. So it's not identical to the Florida course. There has been some customization that's been done sort of for your assistants there in Florida. I mean in California.
Right. So now I'm going to go in and show you really quick. This is the lesson plan piece. How we do it is we kind of punctuate this course with the lesson plan. The lesson plan is within the course they get some learner profiles. I'll go show you real quick. And again, this particular thing you'll see in the orientation video as well. So again, I highly recommend you go into floridaliteracytraining.org and watch the orientation video at your earliest convenience. Here you have the learner profile. Okay, so there's some writing right here on lesson planning that they can read. We're also considering building out the lesson plan piece. So hopefully you guys will get to see an update with the lesson plan pretty soon. But here are the learner profiles. So you'll choose from one, your tutor will choose from one of 3 learners, and they'll create a lesson plan around that particular learner. Now for the lesson plan piece, there also we suggest a little bit of hand-holding, or being very communicative with your tutors in order to get them through this, because what we found is a lot of new tutors are kind of not scared, but maybe a little bit hesitant to do this piece, especially if they're not trained teachers or educators. This kind of gives them a little pause. So you definitely want to be around when they're when they're doing this and be available. Okay. So Erin asks, is there a place where it shows if the tutor has completed the entire course? Yes, there is actually. Let me show you that. Oh, the delay. Okay. So here, let's see. Oh, it doesn't look like we have anything here. well, this is not a great example because it doesn't look like we have anyone here who completed the course, but let's see. Well, I'll table that for now, but I'll show you guys. I can include it in a Facilitator packet that we have that we're working on completing, which it's complete, but it has it just needs to be edited and all that stuff. But it has every reporting option in there. So when we get that to you guys, then you'll be able to see exactly how to see if they've completed the entire course. Okay. All right, Lisa asks, is the course content only available on Moodle or could we use it in another platform? As of now, we only have it available on Moodle. Unfortunately, we can't use it on any other platform. Okay. Okay, so Diane asks, are these learner profiles fixed or can we add actual learner profiles? The profiles are fixed. So we only have the 3 for now. If you have any suggestions with building out the lesson plan portion, feel free to email me those suggestions. We're always welcome to them. Okay.
And as a facilitator, right, Nicole, they could communicate that through the chat function and do alternative if they wanted to, right?
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. So if you're interested in doing a separate learner profile, there's you can include it in your own either news forum or a separate discussion post. But I would suggest you kind of add it into the news forum regardless so that everyone knows to look there. Otherwise, they'll all just go straight to the course and not necessarily think to go to a separate discussion item. Okay. So I'll go ahead and move on with the presentation. I'll take more questions towards the end. Okay, so the course facilitation. As a facilitator, you are kind of expected to guide tutors through the course. We suggest doing this via email or in phone or via the telephone. If you have in-person orientations, you can tell them a little bit about the Online Tutor Training Course in person. What I want to mention about this is that communication is key here. We can't really say that enough. We noticed that during our facilitations, the facilitators who are more likely to communicate or who communicate more with the tutors are more likely to have a successful course. So if they're in the course and they feel like they're not, they're not being heard or guided, or they don't really know where to go, they're a lot less likely to actually finish the course, and in some cases will maybe be discouraged from actually participating as a tutor, which is not good. But that's why if you're going to use this course, we highly suggest that you definitely keep the lines of communication open with the tutors. The discussion forum, what we normally like to see is posing and answering questions and encouraging dialogue. So in the actual discussion forums, you're going to be, they're going to be asked to post a topic. My suggestion with that is usually the facilitator maybe should post the first answer to the discussion question. So when the tutor is going through the course, it's time for them to go to the discussion forum, if they see that the discussion forum's empty, some tutors who are a little bit shy maybe won't want to be the first to post. So you want to just completely nip that in the bud by being the first to post. Not only that, but answering and replying to their posts. So if somebody posts something, it's already built into the system that it's asking them to reply to other other course takers. But if someone maybe isn't getting that much response, you definitely want to be there, encouraging the dialogue on that, maybe asking follow-up questions on there and really engaging people in this. Since it's an online platform, it's kind of hard to engage a discussion like you would in person, but it's not impossible. You can definitely, as you see on YouTube comment sections, for instance, you can sometimes spark a pretty lively discussion online. So you kind of want to be the person to do that or to facilitate that. The next one, I already told you a little bit about the final assignment. So you're going to want to help and provide feedback on that last assignment. Like I said before, the final assignment is a little bit tricky for people who maybe haven't taught before and have never written a lesson plan. You want to make sure to be there to answer any questions. If they have a question on how do I do this, how do I do that, you want to guide them in writing it. And then after they're done, you want to give them feedback, good feedback, so that when they're ready to actually go and tutor, they're feeling confident about their ability to write a lesson plan. Okay, and last, we recommend ending the course with a conference call or webinar. We actually have a webinar type system. It's kind of like just a screen sharing type of format, so you wouldn't be able to see them face to face, but it adds another layer of like instead of a conference call, you'd be able to see the screen and share your screen with them, share some lesson plan examples maybe, and answer questions. So we have Join Me, which is a pretty user-friendly online tool. All you have to do is contact us. There's a web page on the course site that you can actually go and sign up for this type of thing. Other than that, the conference call is really good for people who are, again, apprehensive, still have concerns about their tutoring ability. This is a really good chance for you to talk to them, give them some advice before they start tutoring. If of course you're not going to follow it up with an orientation, this is definitely an important piece.
One thing we've found on this is that it gives you an opportunity to kind of have a focused discussion around sort of what was in the course, and have everybody who's taken the course as sort of a cohort group together. If you have an opportunity to do that in person, that's probably better. We offer some courses that are more statewide, and that's not a practical, option for us. But that kind of closure and kind of having folks talk through it a little bit. One of the things about this course that's a plus, and there's pluses and minuses with in-person versus sort of an online learning experience. One of the things that is a plus, I think, is that folks can come back and revisit content, because they're getting a lot of information on the front end, sometimes for some programs even before tutors meet their students, so they don't have really good context for what they're learning or how they're going to use it in some cases. And so so they can go back, those webinars that Nicole mentioned earlier, if they're going to be doing something on writing or any component of these, to kind of refresh themselves or revisit any of the content. But having that sort of debriefing at the end, whether it be through a conference call or some combination of a conference call and a mini webinar or what have you, can be a real plus. We highly recommend it.
Okay, so I know we're getting some more questions, but since we're almost done with the actual content of this presentation, I'm going to move forward and then take some more questions at the end. Okay, so next I just want to share some tips. The first thing is a set timeline. This is important because you want to make sure that everyone's kind of on the same page here. We have a rubric that we use. So in the first, we have it so that in the first week they look through modules 1 through 4. And then the second week is modules this or that. So what we do is we set out each module, but also highlight what activities they're expected to do within that particular week. So for instance, week 1, they're expected to watch the orientation video and participate in the first discussion, as well as going through the first couple of modules. So that really keeps everyone kind of on track, that you're not just kind of setting them off to run free in the course. It makes it more, again, it makes it more likely for them to actually complete the course. Kind of like a college course, as you would get a rubric and it's structured. You want to just make sure you have that kind of structure for them, and so that they feel like they're in an actual online course and not just, you know, doing whatever they want. The next I have a facilitator is kind of like a teacher. You're the course manager really, and you're not doing a lot of the instruction because the instruction is already taken care of through the actual online platform. But you know, as a teacher, you know, wouldn't ignore their students. As a facilitator, you don't want to ignore your volunteers. You want to make sure they're that you're available at certain times to communicate with them. Usually I suggest that facilitators do kind of an office hours type thing where they can communicate with them via email. Some people, you know, give them their phone number too. Some don't feel comfortable with that, and that's fine too. But that they can email from 9 to 3 any questions. It kind of gives it a little more organization. So different organizations use this in different ways. Like I said before, some organizations rely heavily on the course and do a smaller in-person training. Other organizations only use parts of the course and do most of their training in person. But it's not meant to be used in just alone. You do have to add some kind of a face-to-face element to it, whether it be an orientation or a full training. But this isn't something that you don't have to use it in the way that I was showing you. This is a tool for you to use, and you're allowed to use different parts of it if you'd like. But again, the facilitation tips that we give you is what we see as being the kind of the way that works the best for us. So, and you know, we've been doing it for a couple of years, so you know, we're still trying, we're still, you know, tweaking it and finding ways to make it better. So yeah, and absolutely send me any kind of suggestions you have as well. Oops, sorry. Okay. And the last tip I have is train a trusted volunteer to help facilitate the course. If maybe you don't have the staff available to do the course, and you have a volunteer who's interested and who's reliable, I definitely suggest you maybe try and train that person to use the course. There is a particular program that uses a volunteer for the course, and the volunteer does really well, and she actually likes doing it too. So that's another way you can do this if you're finding yourself a little bit short on time. Okay, I'll go ahead and answer some more of your questions. All right, Diane asks, we're using Voyager for lesson plans. Some of our tutors would have a lot of difficulty doing this. Okay, so yeah, if you have a specific way of doing the lesson plans, like Greg was saying, you can always post that on your course. Like I said, you don't necessarily have to do it in the exact way that we do it. You can tell them to go to the lesson plan piece and maybe see the, the blog post there, and you can use your own. You can post it in a separate discussion forum, the specifics on how you want them to do their lesson plan. Okay, Erin asked me if I will share my phone number, and yes, I absolutely will. I'll put that in the chat right now, actually. And I apologize if anyone ends up having any trouble getting a hold of me. We have a I don't know what's going on with our phones, but they're being a little bit weird. So if you have any trouble getting a hold of me, just email me and your phone number, and I'll call you. Make sure to write down my number. I just posted it for everyone in the chat. Make sure to write it down now because it'll go away once I close the course. You can also find it on our website at floridaliteracy.org under the staff section. Okay. All right, Erin asks, have you had programs use this course on a group training on a large screen? No, we haven't. And if you're planning on doing that, we would love to see it. We have one organization who they're trying to get a training like that together, but they haven't done it quite yet. And once they do it, I will make sure to join in and see how that looks. So again, if you have any other interesting ways to use this, please let us know. We want to see how people use this course and maybe build out our course in ways that other people use it. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about taking the course. So after this, you guys are pretty much ready to start taking the course. So I'm going to need a couple of things from you. This is pretty important, so we can't really get your course started without this information. So we're going to need from you your program logo. We're also going to need the program description. Some people don't use a description. I think it's a nice addition, but if you don't want to add a description, that's fine. But we need your program logo, we need the description, and we'll also need a list of facilitators that you'd like to take the course. I don't necessarily need their email addresses if you don't have them, but it would help to have their email addresses as well. Okay, so that's all I need from you guys. So I'll need the program logo, program description, and a list of people that you want to facilitate the course. So this could be staff members, volunteers, whoever you want to be a teacher in the course. All right, and you have my email address right there. So please write it down now and get it. Otherwise, if you miss it, you can always get it from Lisa. But email me those things and I can start creating your courses as soon as possible, okay? Let's see. Let's see if I have any last minute questions. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Questions. Okay. Okay, so if there are no other questions, then I guess that's it. We want to thank the Florida Department of Education, Division of Career and Adult Education. They kind of help, they are our supporters, so, and they help fund us. The California Library Literacy Services, of course. The partnership has been fantastic, and we're so excited to use these videos. And then AmeriCorps Vista. I was Vista when I started, so and I started building this course. So thank you, Vistas. All right, so if nobody else has questions, let me take one final look. Or any additional comments. Greg, if you want to chime in and anything.
No, I don't have anything else. Thanks everybody for participating, and we got some good feedback with the first round of folks. Made some changes with that feedback, and look forward to working with you in the coming year.
Yep. All right, so if that's it, we'll go ahead and let you guys go for the day. We came in just in time. I thought it was going to be an hour and 15 minutes, but it's about an hour and 13 minutes. All right, so if I think we may have, nope, that's it. Okay, so thank you all for joining us, and I look forward to seeing your emails and seeing your logos and working with you. Again, I am the technical assistant. If you have any questions, feel free to email me and call me. I'm available, but we also have to take into account the time difference. So available 9 to 5 Eastern time. All right. Thank you all, and I'll go ahead and end the webinar there.